Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about how to stop being a people pleaser. So first of all, I'm going to try to explain what I mean by people pleasing, and then I will try to explain different ways that we can stop being people pleasers. Now, being a people pleaser for me is a real degenerative, the mentally degenerative state of being. Um, Break you down, you lose yourself in the process of trying to make other people happy. So it's actually a feeling, a need to be liked by other people. How do I put it? It's an internally driven desire or obsession with approval. Wanting people to like you, and that's where everything starts from. So it's really dangerous, in relationship, especially when you're in a relationship with someone that's controlling. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, they will take full control over your life and they will help you destroy yourself. So what does it mean to do this people pleasing? Because I did it for a long time, in my life. So I learned a lot of lessons from it. It's about denying yourself and and feeling a false feeling, of being the good person, being the person that's trying to be good to everybody, being the person that wants everybody to like them, being the person that doesn't want any conflict or any trouble. So you shrink yourself, you don't stand for anything, you suppress who you are so that other people will not feel uncomfortable. So that is at the core of people pleasing. You will do anything, do whatever it takes to make your partner or another person, happy with you, to make that person like you, to make that person to love you. So you have this belief, and it's a real belief, that for you to receive love um, depends on how well you please somebody, or by doing something that makes somebody else happy. And I don't want to go into the psychology of it, which of course will take us back to childhood trauma. Most of us develop this in childhood. I'm not sure if we're born with it. It's possible that some people are born with it, um, because it's mainly empaths that carry this kind of behavior or attitude, from birth. And so it's possible that you were born with it. But even if you're born with it, then it's a lesson for you to learn in this lifetime. And I've learned that lesson, and really it's just about putting up your boundaries. So you're depending on somebody else's love to feel alive, feel like a human being. Um, and then the real disadvantages of it, is that you lose yourself in the process. You're not going to be able to use your true voice. You're not going to be able to speak your truth. You are not going to be yourself, because you're going to try to be the kind of person that that your partner wants you to be in order for you to be accepted or to be loved. So you're going to be a different person. You have to be a different person. You have to be a person of service, a person that keeps their own wishes, their own desires, their own ambition, their own calling. You keep it at the background. You suppress it. You push it down. You hide it so that you can please the person that you want in your life. And it's really shocking how we develop this kind of belief and mindset, that if somebody doesn't accept you, doesn't love you, then your life is meaningless. And and it's really, it's destructive in the sense that nobody really needs, any other person's approval. You will get the approval from the right people if you're doing the right things. If you're being yourself, you will attract people, that want what you have to offer. You're never going to be able to please the whole world, and we know when you have made that wrong decision, because you will start losing part of your identity. You start losing your voice, and if you stay in that kind of relationship too long, you're really going to be decimated. Uh, in the sense that you waste a lot of years, you won't be able to achieve anything that you really want to achieve. You will never be authentic, and you will live, you wallow in regret. And that's how it is. That's how it has been for so many people, especially people in marriages. Makes it worse. If you're in a marriage and there are kids there to bond you, and if the marriage is to a narcissist that doesn't understand that you need to be free, that doesn't understand that you're a human being and that you have your own ambitions and your own goals, that does, if you're married to someone that doesn't want to sacrifice at all, because it's meant to be a mutual relationship, meant to be symbiotic. You sacrifice, I sacrifice, I give this up, and you give this up. That's how we balance things out. It needs to be a balanced relationship. But when it's parasitic and it's only one-sided, and you are the one that's sacrificing your life, giving up everything, doing all the work just for somebody like you. And of course, we can trace this, we can map it out into what I call societal expectations, because that's the main reason why we stay in toxic relationships, and we endure there, because we have to be married, we have to have a boyfriend, we have to be accepted by certain people. So those are cultural expectations. And to be honest, culture is not your friend. Society is not really your best friend in the end. Society is just it's an aggregation, of our collective consciousness, and it's a one size fits all, kind of theory that we're expected to conform to. But so it doesn't take into account the individuality. It doesn't take into account, your uniqueness. It doesn't take into account the idiosyncrasies of of the individual. So the individual is just meant to be a plug, that can fit into the system. So when you decide, to be yourself and to use your voice and to follow your intuition and to follow your deepest desires, follow your calling, you find out that you don't really fit in everywhere. And when you start living your life, that's when you can start attracting people that are meant to be in your life, people that will help you to progress, people that will not stifle your creativity, your freedom, and your likes, desires. So I've mentioned a few advantages there. The first disadvantage, major one, is that you're going to lose your identity. You will not know who you are. And if you're lucky to come out of the relationship, alive, um, you will recognize, you will not be able to recognize yourself again. You will be completely destroyed because you have been postponing, to a future time or a future date when you're going to be yourself. Because you're spending most of your time in servitude, slavery to another person. So most times you're going to be, how do I put it, you will be postponing, the time or the day when you're going to be able to be yourself, when this person is completely happy. But they're never fully happy. They keep devouring you. They keep devouring your spirit until you're gone. So that's the first one, which is the same as the second one, which is self-worth. Um, you you will not even feel worthy, of love, because you have destroyed every avenue, of having some kind of self-pride in yourself, because you're not living your life. You've never lived your life. So those are the two main things. It's the same thing, really. You lose yourself, and you're going to lose your self-worth. Waste your time so many years, and it always ends up in regret. Most times you even get injury along the way. You drain all your energy, all your energy from you. So that need to be needed, that feeling that you want, that feeling of of being liked, that wanting to be liked by people is something that can be solved. Therapy, meet a clinical therapist, because it can always be traced back to childhood trauma, either abandonment or lack of love, or something. There's a pain behind it. It's like an addiction. People pleasing is like an addiction. It gives you a high. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel wanted. So I really don't want to delve into that psychology right now. So what can we do about it? That's the real question now. What can you do about it? First of all, of course, is to have boundaries. There's nothing good that comes without pain. So you're going to have to cut off any relationship that where you don't feel like you're being yourself. You have to cut it off gradually. I may need to make another video about how to let go, people gradually, and just bring a few examples. But that's one of the things you have to do. Secondly, is self-awareness. Just being aware of who you are, going back, recalling who you were as a child. Inner child, the inner voice. There's an inner voice, of the inner child that's within us. That tells us, yeah, there's a spirit of God that's in us. So we know how powerful we are, but we don't want to be it. We don't want to use it. We feel it's not going to be accepted. So we really need to peel. We really need to unearth all the fears, all the doubts, all the insecurities, all the negative thoughts that you use to bury yourself, and find your real voice again. And I know it's there. It's always a silent voice, but we choose to ignore it most times. We don't have the courage to go for it. So that is it. Then there's boundaries. I have to do a different video on boundaries too. How to set up boundaries and how to implement them, how not to allow people to trespass, to cross into your sacred space. So you will need to learn how to set up boundaries for yourself, so that you know when toxicity is about to enter. Now these boundaries are semi-permeable. They're not hard boundaries, so it only allows good things inside, and it filters out the toxic elements. So that will be another teaching of its own for another day. So yeah, then I think finally it's just about learning how to say no. That's part of the boundary, building, which I'll discuss later. Just learn how to say no. Some people find it very difficult to say no to some other people, because they're already trapped, they're already under the control of some kind of narcissist or the other. So yeah, you need to heal yourself. This is I won't want to call it a spiritual problem. I'll just say it's psychological dependence, that can be healed, that can be done. And I will encourage you, if you are a people pleaser, please stop pleasing people and try to be yourself. Thank you, and I'll see you in the video. Bye.